Hi there, thanks for joining me. I'm Kira Woods, and this is the last of the major arcana in the series that I'm doing. So this is the number 21 of the major arcana, which is the World card. So let's have a look at this card. So, what can you see? You've got a dancing figure here surrounded by this wreath, which is a complete circle. And you have figures in each of the corners. So this figure here in the middle is sort of floating, and that's an important aspect of this card because it is sort of talking about rejoicing and completion of a journey, the freedom that comes from just feeling like things have come to an end, and that it has all been completed. And when this card comes up in a reading, it's a very positive sign that things have been attained, that there's some sort of level of attainment, whether that be in a realization or whether that be a project. This could be an example of the end of a pregnancy and something of that nature. As I said, so this dancing figure, although it is depicted as feminine, it actually is gender neutral. And there is the crossing of the legs here, and you've seen this before with the Hangman, and there is a relationship here between the World card and the Hangman. You might remember with the Hangman, the focus was inward. It was about going inside and spending some time focusing on the inward journey. The World card is sort of saying, you've come through the end of this process. You've passed through all the other learnings and lessons and energy of the major arcana, and you've come to the end, and the World card is now about looking outward. And in her hand she's holding two wands or batons, and these represent the sort of evolution and balance. And also this thick green wreath that you can see is symbolic of victory and success and achievement and accomplishments, and that's and its thickness, and it's all united and it's complete, and so it's sort of that message of that in your life. The red ribbons here represent eternity. And so it's sort of talking about, when things come to an end, they really do come to an end. So it's the completion of a journey. And you may find that it could be something on a grand scale in your life, but it also could be something quite simple in your life where you've sort of graduated from uni and you really have come to completion. You're no longer a uni student, or you've graduated from high school, or, as I said, the end of a pregnancy. It's the completion of that process. So when you see this card in a reading, as always, pay attention to the cards on either side, but also think about what is about this card is sort of giving a message to the question at hand. Is the World card, the Wheel of Love Fortune card, for example, also in the reading as well, because there's a relationship between those two as well, of course. And that is noted too by the fact that these figures are representing all elements of fours in our life. We have the four, these are the four signs, four fixed signs of the zodiac. But also it represents things like the four elements and the four suits of the tarot, of course, four compass points, four seasons. What else we got? We got the four corners of the universe. So 4 is a very important number. 4 is quite important with the Emperor. If you look throughout the whole journey of the tarot, the Fool's journey, you see this evolution of the 4, and the World card is sort of saying, okay, the 4 is coming to a point of completion. So when you see this card, as I said, it's definitely giving you an answer that there's been a success, there's been a conclusion, there's been some sort of achievement. You might also, realise that it definitely has the message of things like self-actualization. And, when I think of that, I think, it's asking yourself the question in the situation at hand. Have you done all you need to do to be the best person you can? Or Where does that fit with you? It also is reminding you to look back and ask, what have I attained? What have I achieved? Because one of the only real challenge with this card is that it's about saying you need to celebrate that which you have achieved. And because it's definitely indicating there's been an end of a very important cycle. Now, you might be sitting there going, well, gee, it doesn't feel like that in my life because maybe I haven't actually graduated yet, or maybe I haven't exactly attained the career that I want. And so what this card is saying to you, though, don't forget to look back and celebrate what you have achieved. That look back over the last 6 months, 12 months, and say to yourself, what have I achieved? What have I done things in my life that I'm proud about? Have I done things that I feel have brought out of me the best that I can be? Because and celebrate that. And if you're not celebrating that, plan a celebration, plan in some sort of acknowledgement on some level, because this card is reminding you of the importance of doing that, and you need to do that before you move on to the next new beginning. Like everything, the review of the end of an accomplishment, the review of the end of a project, the review at the end of a cycle is a very important part of preparation for the next thing that is going to occur. So, don't be surprised, as I said, particularly if this card comes up, say, for something like the Three of Cups, there might be a celebration in hand. Maybe you're retiring and people that have planned a bit of a celebration for you, or maybe you want to plan a bit of a celebration, or, it could be you want to celebrate your divorce, or you want to celebrate the birth of your child, or you want to so don't be surprised if there's some sort of celebration around you, or plan one. The world also represents a period where you can see the whole process, or the entire process of a system, and understood sort of where you have fit within that system. So it's sort of talking about finding your place in the world. This card is saying, it's giving you some indication, the energy around this is that it's directing you to where your place is in the world. What is your right path? What is your ideal goals? Sort of what can you now, so depending on how it fits in the reading, what can you rely on? And finding that place means therefore finding that sense of being the best person you can, and really finding true happiness in yourself. It might also indicate that there's some sort of promotion on its way, or that you have some unexpected resources coming your way, and that could be financial or not, could be something else that you're needing. It could be also that this card may pop up in terms of indicating that you've been given an opportunity for great authority or power, or some area where you can show strength and support, or receive support. Or it may be that you are hearing about another person's conclusion of something that's really important to you, and that relationship with them is the key. Why it's important that you celebrate and acknowledge and have that energetic connection to this conclusion. All in all, if you find that when this card comes up in reading, and depending on the question again, that you're feeling like, oh, I'm not ready to let go, I don't feel like something has been completed, because you're judging it, that you haven't quite done all that you meant to do, or that you thought that you were going to, make $1 million in this business and you didn't, but, you really did produce a really good business, or a really good product, or a wonderful service. What this card is saying to you is that it's really important that when things come to an end, let them end. That it's time to wrap up the old plans. It's time for readiness for new things. And if you try and hold on, that actually will turn quite sour for you. So note that in yourself if you're getting the sense of, oh my goodness, I'm not ready for something to be over, however this is playing out for you. Because really, the reality is that when a journey's over, it's done, it's finished, it's wrapped up. You've got to move on. And also, I also often think that when I see this card, I remind myself from both my own readings, but also readings for others, that this card is sort of saying that, it's sort of that indicating that there is harmony at the moment, sort of a unification between my inner self and my outer activities. Or you might say, your personal self and your higher self will connect into spirit, or your personal self in alignment with the world and the environment that you're around. And within all that, when there's that unification, it's sort of saying, I am where I'm meant to be, and I am all that I want to be in the world. So it really is indicating there's a great time of clarity and authenticity around you, and with that comes, it's like when we're really feeling a sense of clarity and authenticity, and we're feeling light and free, which you can't, if you look at this image, there's definitely a sense of total freedom, that with that freedom we have a real opportunity to move to the next level with great positivity and abundance and capacity. So within this freedom is a real strong connection to creativity and to stability and to connectivity with ourselves and the world. Because as I said, this card is very much about the world. It's about being out. It's unlike, as I said, the Hangman, which is so much about going inside. This is about the outward journey, the outward way that we interact with our environment, with the world, with being the best we can be in our world, however that might be. I hope you found that really useful. If you would like to have a private reading with me or send me a message, please go to my website at www.kirawoods.com. Also, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. And please go check out my Facebook business page. Send me messages. Give me any feedback that you have, and please like it. If that would be just absolutely fabulous. It'll help me along my journey. And I wish you an absolutely wonderful week, month, year. And please, if you haven't and you feel inspired, I've got weekly and monthly videos that I also put up, and I love to get feedback on those as well. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you at my channel with my next video. All the best.